Okay, so some time and pitch options for us, and how to isolate parts of our regions. In the last video, we talked about how to adjust and bring in files. In this sound, I want to slow that down. And so to do that, I don't want to slow down the entire region. If you notice, my recording session size, the file size is really large. And so I just want to focus on this moment in time. To trim part of this out and to split the region, I hit Command T. As long as my cursor is in the right place, hitting Command T will split the region where I want it to. I can then take this region and I can put it into a new track, audio track. And make this a little bigger. So now that I've split the region, I can copy and paste it wherever I want to. So if I hit copy and again move my cursor to where I want to paste it, I now have it down here. Command C is copy and Command V is paste. Now that I have it pasted down here, it's isolated and I can adjust its parameters. I can further trim it if I want to, and other awesome things. So again, let me move this up a little bit, move this around, open up my sound editor. By pressing E, I open up my editor. My editor allows me to do more like nuanced things, to not only on the track level, but at the file level. And we talked about how at the file level, we can go to functions and reverse. If I wanted to reverse the waveform, let me undo that. I can also, at the track level, incorporate fades in and fades out, right? Fading in. So when we hover over a region, we get certain aspects of it, right? For this is our fade. So if I just hover over this, I can fade in and out. Our ability to fade in or speed up and slow down. So if I press this, it should fade in and out. However, those fades in and out can be changed over here in my region attributes thing. I just opened it up over here. I can change that to speed up and slow down at this point. Right? So that's kind of like taking a tape machine and hitting play and stop really fast and changing the speed up and slow down, or fade in and fade out. Fade in and fade out is volume only. Speed up and slow down is basically pitch and time changes that are associated directly. Right. So that's one way to get a speed variation. Let me go back to this here and eliminate this fade and make it a little bit less dramatic. You can also make this parabolic if you want to. Sometimes I struggle finding the handle properly. There we go. If I wanted to stretch this out a little bit more, I could do a couple of different things. If I wanted to be very nuanced about pitch change, I can go over here and add a plugin from pitch called Pitch Shifter. The pitch shifter will allow me to very carefully adjust it by tone. So if I wanted it to be an octave up or an octave down, I can apply that plug-in to this sound. But the sound is quite noisy, so you don't really hear its effects that much. But on something with pitch, you will be able to hear that quite well. But what I'd like to do is stretch it out. And to do that, I'll apply the flex tool here. And yet turn on flex, please. And there's lots of different flavors of flex, but the one I particularly like to use is called speed. And a lot of people use flex or every DAW has this function now. It's called different things, but in Logic it's called flex. Notice that it has all these transient locators on your file. If you click on them, you can move them around to place it into the beat. And so what people do is use this to adjust samples to align rhythmically with with the tempo. In our case, I'd like us to be a little bit free of tempo. So we're going to use the flex, I call it the flex capacitor sometimes, it's kind of funny. The flex, and you then hover over the right, and this is no longer fade. This is now your stretch tool. Because we've selected the flex, this is now going to allow us to pull this outwards. And if I do this kind of in an extreme way, it rather cleanly pulls apart our audio to make it a lot slower. I can continue to do that, stretching it. If you select the speed, it'll associate time and pitch together. And then once you do that, you can turn that off. And now that's kind of what we're doing with this file okay. The playback of the track has been stretched, but the file is still the same. If I want to make this into a new audio file to do more things with it, I will bounce in place, put it into a new track, and now it's its own file, which I can then go down here to the Explorer, go to the file. Notice that the file matches the playback, and I can reverse it. So this allows us to do multiple generations of processing just in pitch and time. And I can do speed up and slow down to review that with our region down here. And so on and so forth. Okay, so these are ways in which to collect a whole series of processes on found sound recordings.